battlefield. So currently we are standing on the edge of Custer National Cemetery. And as we pan over, you start to see where the Battle of Little Bighorn took place, along these hills over here. We're going to take their driving tour and hit all the points of emphasis. Over here is the visitor center that would normally be open, but unfortunately due to COVID-19 is not. Visiting a national cemetery for me is always a very sombering moment. And seeing all the graves here at Custer National Battlefield and Custer National Cemetery is just sombering. Custer National Cemetery here has members of the U.S. Armed Forces who fought in the Indian Wars, the Spanish-American War, World War I, World War II, the conflict in Korea, and the Vietnam War. So located throughout the battlefield here at Little Bighorn, you have grave markers such as this one right here of a U.S. soldier and where they've passed away on the battlefield. Out here you see two brown markers. Those are where Native American warriors passed away. So this is a grave marker of a Reno-Benteen bear with horns, was a Lakota warrior who fell here on June 25th, 1876. So the driving tour takes you through the battlefield and the different spots where battles occurred during the last stand.
At stop 1 on the tour, this is the Indian encampment. On June 25th, 1876, approximately 7,000 Lakota, Cheyenne, and Arapaho, including 1,500 to 2,000 warriors, are encamped below along the Little Bighorn River. Led by Sitting Bull, they refuse to be restricted to the reservation, preferring to their traditional nomadic way of life. Stop 2 here is Custer's advance. This is where Custer divides his command to strike the Indian encampment before they can scatter. Stop 3 is Valley Fight. After fording the Little Bighorn River, Major Marcus Reno's battalion charges the Indian encampment. The warriors rush forward to defend the camp and outflank Reno's command, forcing them into the timber. Stop 4 is called Retreat. Forced to withdraw, Reno's retreat becomes a rout as pursuing warriors ride in among the troopers, killing about 40 soldiers as they attempt to reach the safety of the bluffs beyond the Little Bighorn River. Stop 5 is Reno-Benteen entrenchment. This is where you can get out and walk a trail to tour the hilltop defense. Looking down the ravines toward Little Bighorn River, you could see where Major Marcus Reno led his men across the river in retreat from where he earlier attacked the Indian encampment. Look at a little grasshopper. There were so many out here. At marker 2, Captain Benteen asked for more men, so Captain French brought over his men to help reinforce. Marker 3 is the field hospital, which was located in the distance just beyond the stone monument. Marker 4 is a shallow trench that was dug by Captain Benteen's men. Under heavy fire, with only 3 or 4 shovels, they did much of the digging with knives, hatchets, and mess gear. Marker 6 is known as the spot without water. The command had been without water for many hours, and some brave 15 volunteer water carriers went down to the ravine to get the much needed water for wounded warriors. Marker 8 is where Charles Windall pointed out the places where Jones and Meter were killed. Private Thomas Meter killed here, June 26, 1876. Private Julian D. Jones killed here, June 26, 1876. On this hilltop are markers 9 and 10. Looking south and east, you can see some of the Lakota and Cheyenne firing positions. Many of the ravines and hilltops were virtually covered with warriors, extending over half a mile. Long Road, a young Sans Arc warrior, rushed the soldiers of Benteen's command, but was killed at the bottom of the slope. Marker 11 is where a Minneconjou warrior named Dog's Backbone was killed, about 200 yards northeast of this point. Marker 7 is a restored trench where skeletal remains, buttons, and scraps of uniform cloth were found. Private Julian Jones and Thomas Meter were killed along the firing line. Marker 5 on the trail is where the Indian riflemen occupied the ridges to the east. They took ammunition from Custer's dead and used it against Reno's and Benteen's commands. At Marker 12, the members of Company A fought from behind a makeshift barricade of saddles, hardtack boxes, bacon, dead mules and horses, and anything else that could possibly come against the bullets. Marker 13 is a rifle pit that was restored to its original size in an archaeological project in June 1958. Marker 14 are 2 more restored rifle pits. And marker 15, the shallow depressions here are original rifle pits unrestored since 1876. At marker 16, this rifle pit, which was restored, defended the men of Company K. Marker 17 has a marble marker here that indicates the site of an 1876 grave pit where the remains of many cavalrymen were buried. Marker 18 is the Sharpshooter Ridge, from where some Sioux and Cheyenne warriors occupied vantage points all around the Reno-Benteen position. At stop 6, this is another look at Sharpshooter Ridge. Stop 7 is known as Weir Point. Captain Thomas Weir led his company to this hill in an attempt to locate Custer. At stop 8, this is called Medicine Tail Coulee, which is part of Custer's advance to get to Calhoun Hill. Stop 9 is Medicine Tail Ford, where a lot of fighting between Indian warriors and Custer took place. Stop 10 is called Deep Coulee. This is another spot where some skirmishes occurred between Indian warriors and Custer's men. At stop 11, called Greasy Grass Ridge, Custer's command and warriors were under heavy fire against each other. Stop 12 is called Lame White Man Charge. A Southern Cheyenne, lame white man, led the attack on Custer's men and forced them back to the ridge, where most were killed. At stop 13, James Calhoun skirmishes with many warriors. Lakota and Cheyenne soon overrun this hilltop, now known as Calhoun Hill. Stop 14 is called Keogh Crazy Horse Fight. This is where Keogh's men were trying to retreat from Crazy Horse and join Custer on Last Stand Hill. At Stop 15, Deep Ravine, Custer's command deploys in the current National Cemetery area and advances into the base and across the road to your left, before it is forced to withdraw to Last Stand Hill. Stop 16 is the 7th Cavalry Memorial, where Custer made his last stand and died. Stop 17 are the memorial markers of the Lakota and Cheyenne warriors. So that was a fun little historic stop.
I highly recommend a visit to Little Bighorn Battlefield National Monument. While it's a sombering experience, we did learn a lot and enjoyed our visit.
Find your park.